creativity, and progress.
That's one thing about trailers that does bother me sometimes.
Preach.
That where they take the best bits of the movie and throw it in the trailer, and it's a tack. Like, obviously it's a marketing tactic, because they're like, okay, we've got to market this crap. So what are the best bits? What are the best jokes? And that was something that I found interesting with Endgame, with the trailers for Endgame. Endgame had a lot had a lot of jokes. It was funny, but they didn't use the best jokes.
No, not even close.
Like there were some jokes that were good. The whole, like, he's really good at that. Yeah, right. Like that whole thing between Rocket Raccoon and Ant-Man, but they didn't use like Build-A-Bear, and all that. Like, they didn't use the really good jokes from the movie, which I think is indicative of people who are really, like, people who do that are really good because they know to pull it'll pull the people in. You know what I mean? And you've got a better product.
Absolutely.
That just means you have a better product.
Well, they're on their game. And Mick's, you guys are both editors. Mick does a lot of digital editing with video and stuff like that, but I mean, like, Mick has done it several times. He knows, like, for my comics and whatnot, he knows what to cut to put in there that entice without giving away the whole house, essentially.
Yeah.
Well, there's also, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, there's also a certain tone that you want to put across in the trailer, and we did a lot of collaboration where Ethan gave me music to give me an idea of. I've only read the first book. I think at the time it was only the first six books, so I didn't know the entire story. What's the story about, and what's the tone? What's the mood? What's this feel like? You gave me a piece of music from, I think it was from the movie Sicario.
For the first. That's right.
Who was
for the Beast?
Composer that was really just creepy, droning kind of, and I really just kind of fed off of that with what are the images going to look like for this? Mm-hmm. What are the what's the look and feel, and that was kind of the placeholder for the first trailer, and then we got original music for that afterwards. I don't know if you hired somebody.
Corey Capron did that.
So we actually used music as a placeholder that was copyrighted, and then we went and had somebody compose original music to the trailer that I put together based on that Sicario's piece that you delivered to me. So and those images kind of. And we worked together closely about what's going to be on the screen now and why. And you actually didn't you change the dialogue? Because we actually did voice
script.
And I don't know, we did voices for that trailer where Nathan, you were part of it. You did a couple voices there, didn't you?
Yeah, he did 3, I think.
Yeah. And then now I digress because I forgot what I was talking about.
Tone. Being able to find the tone in a trailer and based off the source material, that it stays true to form without giving away the house.
Exactly. Oh, and my point was going to be that you actually used dialogue that was not you made a script that was not from your book, purposely not giving away, using different dialogue, I believe, that wasn't that you'd never find in the book because you wanted to just for the trailer itself.
Right.
You created different pieces of dialogue. And I know regular movie trailers do that sometimes where that scene was never in the movie, but it was in the trailer.
100%.
I've seen that before. So
100%. Yeah, that was infamous. There was a real quick before I forget. So Johan Johansson did the music for Sicario. It was great stuff. He works with Denis Villeneuve on other stuff. Like, for example, one of our favorite movies, Arrival. He did music for that too. But yeah, as far as trailers that will have, I guess deliberately or indeliberately, will have entire scenes that aren't in the film. Infamously, Amazing Spider-Man #2 had that, I'm talking about, Nate, the scene where it had Norman Osborn in his deathbed, literally his deathbed. And he was talking to his son about not every hero deserves to live or whatnot. Pretty much set up the idea that Norman was giving his blessing to his son to fight Spider-Man, what have you. Scene is nowhere near the movie. Not even close to in the movie at all.
Yeah.
And so it upset lots of fans pretty much. So doing that kind of stuff, sometimes it can work in your favor, sometimes not. In Rogue One, another Star Wars movie, there was a lot of shots in those trailers that didn't end up in the film. Like, for example, the part where Jen Erso was like running on the scaffolding.
Yes, and the TIE fighter at the end of the scaffolding. We never saw it. Everybody's waiting. We're all waiting for it, right? Because that's another thing you were talking about, Nathan. You were talking about them giving away major scenes. And a lot of times in those movies, you were waiting for those things to happen. And you're like, I can't wait for the TIE fighter. And it's like, wait a minute, this scene can't be done yet because the TIE fighter and it was never in the movie. And you're like, whoa, did they try to trick us?
Yeah.
Or was that just something that just didn't work in the film? And I imagine the latter is more the case.
Yeah, well, I think it's a combination thing where you have in some cases it's an editing piece.
Yes.
Where the we were talking about trailers being released very early. It's a situation where it was just cut. It was just cut and editing. Yeah. Whereas in other situations, I wouldn't be surprised if they were filming. They're filming a scene and they're like, this is probably not going to make it in, but we'll do it and we can use it in the trailer.
On purpose, yeah. I know Deadpool during their marketing, they did. On purpose, with Ryan Reynolds' sense of humor and stuff, they did a whole bunch of part of their ad campaign was to have a whole bunch of different things that pretty much the audience knew wasn't going to be in the films, but it was just fun to see Ryan Reynolds having fun. Like there's one where he went up to a playground with kids outside. He actually dressed up as Deadpool, messing around with kids. They were dressed up as other superheroes, and that was in commercials. But that, of course, we all knew that wasn't going to be in the movie. But it was also a way to be a part of the marketing. There was an ad where he was like lying on a bearskin rug for Valentine's Day.
I remember
those.
So
it
wasn't going to be in the movie at all. But it was still effective marketing because we weren't being tricked. We knew it wasn't going to be in the movie. But two, it was still in theme or in tone with the actual film.
Right.
Yeah.
The Christmas one too. Wasn't there a Christmas deal with Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool because they did an edited
with the Fred Savage, for the like a Princess Bride type of one. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was like the marketing for that film for both films were just genius, and they're trying to do it a little bit with the Pikachu because like Ryan Reynolds just dropped a thing last week about how he method acted Pikachu and then like little things like that but yeah, the marketing for that was awesome and the trailers for those were really good. It
was brilliant.
I think there's a way to do it, like I said, like there's a way to do it, but not everybody can do it well.
It takes a deft. It is a skill. It's a talent to be able to do it.
It really is.
And part of it is as well. We're talking about superhero movies and sci-fi, but also with comedies. Comedies is even trickier because nowadays you don't want to, like you talk about jokes. You don't want to have the best jokes in the trailer because then in the actual movie theater, when people are watching the movie, they already know they already know the jokes. They already know the laughs.
Yeah.
So you want to try to find a way to have something funny, obviously, for the trailer. There's a movie called Booksmart, which is about these two. It's coming out later on, directed by Olivia Wilde, where it has these two like Yale or Harvard accepted high school girls that are super duper smart, but they've never actually partied a day in their life. And so it's like the last weekend before they go off to school, and they're like trying to go out and celebrate big time. And it's a rated R trailer, or like one of those red band trailers.
Yeah.
And so the trailer has lots of funny parts, but you get the idea that the movie itself that's the whole movie. So they're not cherry picking just the only funny moments in the whole trailer and the whole movie. You get the idea that this is the entire film. The whole film is full of these kind of weird, raunchy, bizarre moments, and they're not showing their hand. It's but I have seen plenty of films where they do that, and it does bother me when you see the best jokes for a comedy in the trailer.
Yeah, I think it's one of those. Like I was saying before, like. I almost am more likely to go see a comedy that has a trailer that doesn't completely destroy me because when the jokes are funny but not like, oh my god, that was hilarious, that gives me the impression that okay, they're holding it back, holding back, they don't have they're keeping their best stuff under the vest,
right.
where you get movies that are like what was that one movie with Melissa McCarthy? She was a identity thief. No.
Oh, I think it was called Identity Thief.
Yeah, Identity Thief or something like that. And with I can't even remember Jason Bateman.
I think that called Identity Thief? I think it's called.
Yeah,
kind of like
that. And like that trailer, like I saw it and I was like, okay, that was a really funny trailer, and I guarantee you those were the best jokes in the film, and I was right.
Yeah,
well, you have to think, how much can they do with that? How much can they do with that situation and that setup? It can only go so far, and you're absolutely right. I totally agree with that. That you saw the whole movie right there.
Clearly, yeah.
And I think there's an interesting thing that happens with trailers, and you can almost tell, just when watching the trailer, you can tell the just overall quality. Yeah. Like you could be like, okay, yeah, this is going to be a good movie. Like really anymore, I don't think I've ever had a situation where I've watched a trailer, said I really want to see that film, and then I go see it, and I'm like, oh, that was crap. Like that doesn't really happen anymore.
Completely off.
Yeah, because like I've gotten to the point where I see a trailer that I like, and I'm like, I like this. This is you know, I think I'm really going to like this movie, and 9 times out of 10 I do.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. No. Exactly. Well, I know recently, Hellboy. You probably heard the backlash from the Hellboy film.
Yeah.
That trailer turned a lot of people off. Both the trailers turned people off already, and then the film was actually considered, it was like 13% on Rotten Tomatoes or whatever it was. It was pretty bad, pretty detrimental. So yeah, it can definitely happen. But there's really good trailers that find a way. Like one of the most epic, still to this day praised, one of the best trailers of all time is from Alien 1. Remember that trailer?
Oh yes.
So that trailer, you want to describe how the trailer plays out?
It had a lot of scenes that were just flashed in front of you, so you never really saw a lot of anything.
Yeah.
And some really, I don't know how to describe the music that was in that, other than it was more like a siren.
Yes, like a siren, exactly.
Flashes from the film of people sweating and running, and it was just dark, and it was just, and then when the Alien logo came up on the screen, you were like, everybody was like, I'm seeing that, because that trailer was, check it out again, and you'll get goosebumps because it was done so very well, and that was back in 1978, probably when it came out. 79 was the movies. It was in that time frame, and very well done.
Well, because the beauty of it too was, for one thing, is at that point it was one of the first sci-fi horrors, so it was very rare. But with horror films, you had to be careful not to show the beast or the monster really, because you want to save that for the actual film. And with Alien, a big part of it was the suspense. He doesn't show up. The monster doesn't show up till like an hour or 10 minutes into the movie, really. So you really wanted to actually build it up properly. And the trailer that you said it's like a siren going off, like it's an emergency crisis situation. It has people running around sweating. Everything's going to crap for them. And it does a really good job of presenting the tone without showing you anything, really. And it's that kind of suspense and drama was more or less the whole point of the movie. And so when you're doing horror films, it's weird how you cut the proper trailer to get across to more or less pique interest without showing too much.
And not having the voiceover where, in a small town in New England.
Right.
Yeah.
Stephen King. Yeah.
Yeah. I was actually going to mention the fact that, I saw a Jaws trailer recently, and that's kind of what they did. It was like in a small town, blah blah blah, blah, and it explained everything. It kind of had a similar effect as the Alien bit, but the Alien was just so much more effective. Yeah. Like it just did a much better job getting you psyched to see the film, you know.
Well, and it was more show and don't tell. It was
all show.
Oh yeah,
it was all show.
Yeah, exactly.